Imagine if Rashad Bateman had left the Ravens to join the Dallas Cowboys. Well, it almost happened for real. Sounds crazy, right? Lamar Jackson nearly lost his favorite wide receiver right in the middle of the best stretch of his career. And the wildest part? Bateman himself opened up about how everything went down behind the scenes. No filters, no secrets. Today, we're breaking down this story that could have completely changed the Ravens' future. I'll show you why the Cowboys' interest was so serious, how close Bateman was to packing his bags, and what made him decide to stay and sign the contract that now locks in Baltimore's offense through 2029. But that's not all. The way this all played out tells us a lot about the team's future and why fans should be both excited and maybe a little nervous. So stick with me till the end because there's a lot here that hardly anyone knows, and it might just change the way you see the Ravens next season. Can you picture Rashad Bateman wearing a Cowboys jersey? Believe it or not, that almost happened. During all the back and forth about his new contract with Baltimore, there was a point where nobody knew how it was going to end. Bateman admitted the talks with Dallas were very real. This wasn't just a rumor to grab clicks. He said the talks with the Cowboys were definitely a thing. It was a possibility. I'm not denying that. That shows just how close things were to changing and how his future in Baltimore was hanging by a thread. Things got so uncertain that Bateman started thinking maybe it was time to look elsewhere. After having his best season ever, 45 catches, 756 yards, and 9 touchdowns, he wanted to be valued. When the Ravens hesitated on a new deal, other teams smelled blood. The Cowboys didn't waste any time. They went after him, talked it through, seriously considered the move, and nearly pulled him away from Lamar Jackson's squad. What's really impressive is how open Bateman was about the whole thing. No hiding, no rehearsed answers, no excuses. He admitted there were moments when he wasn't sure what would come next, that Dallas's interest was genuine, and that it could have ended with a trade. It's rare for a player to be this candid, and it shows how confident he was that staying in Baltimore was the right choice in the end. That's when the Ravens did what needed to be done. Eric DeCosta, the GM known for pulling magic out of nowhere, worked hard to lock down Bateman's new deal and keep him where he wanted to be. Because despite everything, Bateman's heart has always been purple and black. But here's the kicker. Dallas didn't just try. They nearly changed Lamar's entire offense. Let's dig into that next. What really stands out is how aggressive Dallas was about landing Bateman. They had their eyes on what he did in 2024 when he broke all his personal records and finally became the explosive target many have been waiting for since the draft. He fits perfectly into their offense, so the talks went beyond casual. Bateman actually found himself unsure about what would happen next. This wasn't just a routine check-in. It was a serious chase that would keep any fan up at night. Now imagine Lamar Jackson hearing that he might lose Bateman right when their connection was firing on all cylinders. It would have been a huge blow for the Ravens' offense, which spent years searching for reliable receivers. Baltimore would have had to scramble to find someone new or bet on guys who hadn't shown the same consistency. This shows how real the risk was and how quickly the front office had to act to prevent the offense from falling apart. It's also a reminder of how ruthless the NFL can be. When a player breaks out, the entire league notices, and any hesitation from the current team becomes a chance for rivals to swoop in. The Cowboys spotted a crack in the Bateman-Ravens talks and moved aggressively. If Baltimore hadn't reassessed Bateman's value, we'd probably be watching him in silver and blue instead of purple and black. But Bateman never truly wanted that. Despite all the noise, he made it clear his heart was set on staying in Baltimore. And that's what makes the next part so meaningful. It shows just how much his loyalty shaped how this all ended. Amid all the chaos, Bateman was upfront with Eric DeCosta and totally honest. The first thing he told the Ravens GM was that he didn't want to play anywhere else. That's huge because it shows that even with a chance to shine in a bigger market or maybe get a bigger paycheck, he wanted to stay where he was, on the team that believed in him from day one. Loyalty like that is rare in today's NFL. Bateman also understood the team's perspective. He knew DeCosta had a long list of contracts to sort out and couldn't prioritize only him while other key players needed attention too. So he stayed patient, kept quiet, and didn't complain in public. He trusted that everything would work out eventually, which only strengthened his relationship with the Ravens front office. It showed maturity and faith in the project. When the deal finally came through, Bateman felt truly valued. He said it mattered a lot to know he was a priority for DeCosta, which showed how much the Ravens see him as a key piece moving forward. That kind of trust makes a player want to give even more on the field, because he knows he's not just another name on the payroll. And here's the most interesting part. All that patience paid off for both Bateman and Baltimore. The team had already bet big on him before his 2024 breakout, a move that many thought was too risky. And that's what we're diving into next.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Remember before Bateman's magical season this year, the Ravens already had extended his contract? Last year, they gave him a 2-year deal worth almost $13 million. Even though his first 3 seasons were pretty average, just 93 catches and 4 touchdowns total. A lot of people questioned that move. It seemed like Baltimore was spending big on a player who hadn't really proven himself yet. But here's where Eric DeCosta's long-term vision made all the difference. The Ravens GM believed in Bateman's potential, even when the rest of the league was skeptical. And in 2024, that bet finally paid off. Bateman became the dynamic target the team desperately needed, dominating routes, stretching the field, and turning into a touchdown machine. That investment came back with serious interest. This shows that the Ravens don't just look at cold stats when building their roster. They knew Bateman inside and out, his work ethic, how well he connects with Lamar, and how dominant he could be when healthy. That kind of trust is what makes a player want to stay and give his best on the field. Now, after this breakout season comes a big reward, the contract through 2029. This deal not only locks Bateman in, but also transforms the future of the Ravens' offense. Let's dive into what that means for the years ahead. With Bateman tied up for 4 more years, the Ravens can finally breathe easy and build their offense around solid pieces. For a long time, the team faced criticism for not giving Lamar Jackson elite targets. Everyone said the passing game was weak, and that Lamar had no reliable options to share the pressure. But now, with Bateman healthy and locked down long-term, that narrative is starting to fade. This deal through 2029 completely changes Baltimore's offensive game plan. It means Lamar will have a talented, well-synced wide receiver who knows the system for at least 4 more full seasons. That's huge for the playbook, the chemistry on the field, and Lamar's confidence to take more aggressive shots. Bateman becomes a security blanket every quarterback dreams of. Plus, it makes the Ravens a much more attractive destination for other players. An offense already featuring Lamar and Bateman locked in looks way better to veteran tight ends, explosive running backs, or even complementary wide receivers. Everyone wants to join a system with established stars because it ups the chances of a Super Bowl run. At the end of the day, this contract is more than just numbers and financial guarantees. It symbolizes a project with solid foundation to dream big, with Lamar leading the show and Bateman ready to change the game anytime. When it comes down to it, this whole Bateman nearly going to the Cowboys story shows just how fragile an NFL team's future can be. The Ravens almost lost a wide receiver who finally clicked with Lamar and gave their passing game a fresh new look. Locking Bateman in through 2029 doesn't just keep him on the roster. It brings stability to an offense that's been questioned for years. It strengthens a Ravens project and gives fans even more reasons to dream big. So here's the question. Do you think keeping Bateman was the right move to put Baltimore on the path to the Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts because this conversation is far from over.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.